fun stuff.
I can hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay, because everyone's wild and crazy today, right?
It's Friday.
It's Friday, and we got the Trenchers in the house because it's born to be Marianas Trench today. So we got a big one. We got lots of guests here today too. But do not forget that next week is a jam-packed week here at New Music Live. On Wednesday, we welcome Britt Ollie Murs to the house here at New Music Live. He's touring with One Direction, so he's going to drop in here. I'll be chatting to him and get to know this cutie that everyone's talking about. And then on Thursday, hold your breath, it's one day with One Direction. The whole day.
The whole day.
Yes, on Thursday. Don't miss it. We're actually going to the venue. So they're not going to be in here. We're going to be down at the amphitheater. I'm going to be doing an interview. We're going to meet the fans and the whole shebang.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Yes, and up close and personal. But hey, we got to get to the
I know,
show.
everyone's
Today is all about Marianas Trench. Yeah. Now, I know there are a lot of trenchers in the house here today, but we also know that they have some absolutely amazing fans all across this country, and we want to hear from you. We want to see photos of you with the band. We want to hear inspirational stories of how the band has changed your life and inspired you. So tweet us at NML, and later on in the show, we're going to read some of your tweets.
Sweet.
But we should probably just get right into it.
I think we need to, Jesse.
They, as I said, one of the biggest bands in Canada with some of the most amazing fans ever, but the ride hasn't always been this smooth. This is NML Presents Born to Be Marianas Trench.
Hello, I'm Josh Ramsey, and I am a singer and songwriter for a living. When I went to rehab, which by the way I don't recommend to anybody because there's really nothing romantic about not being able to walk and being awake for 2 weeks, they make you do this thing where you have to, you draw like a circle that represents you, and then you draw all these other circles that are all the drugs you've ever done, and you write and you draw a circle of how big each one is for how important it is to you. And then you do a second drawing where you do you, and then all sorts of things in your life that are important, how important they are. And then you put them over top of each other, and most addicts, the drugs are the bigger drawing. With mine, music was bigger than heroin was. I sort of at that moment realized that I couldn't do both. I just couldn't do both. And I felt like there was other stuff that I wanted to do. There's a finite amount of time that you have to get what you need done. And I was like, you know, this is my moment to do it. So if I'm going to do it, now's the time. I'm born to be? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. My whole family are singers. And my parents were all singers too, actually. So I sort of came from like a long line of them, I guess. So it's sort of like our family business, I suppose. Here's a good example. This is kind of strange, but like, you know, when you go on those family road trips when you're a kid and like, you know, your parents have you play I Spy or whatever. My parents would, you know, my dad would sing a note, my mom would sing a note, then they would get me to sing a note, and my sister would sing a note, and they would spell out these complex jazz chords, and I would learn what they were called. So that was like our road trip game when I was like 4 and 5 and stuff. It was like, this is what a major 7 is, this is what a minor 7 is, and all like that kind of stuff. My mom was like is still a singing teacher, and she would have all these sort of like famous people in her house taking lessons from her. I remember being a kid and like Brian from AC/DC was there working on vocals with her because he was hissing blood when he was singing or something ridiculous like that. And then my dad, him and his 2 friends owned this big recording studio. So if I went to work with my dad, it would be like Aerosmith was there or whatever. So I guess to me, the way that influenced me was it seemed so realistic to be a musician because that's like all I knew. You know, when everyone else was like, I want to grow up and be a fire truck or whatever it is that they want, I was like, I guess I'm going to be a singer because that's what everybody does. In the earlier years, we had sort of like a rotating lineup of a bunch of people for a while. My sister originally was in the band. You know, slowly people replaced each other until it was Marianas Trench. We went through a bunch of names and stuff. You know, the first tour I ever went on, we actually changed the band name every night, which is ridiculous because really, like, the only point of going on a tour, especially when no one knows who you are, is to try and gain some fans. And you really can't do that if you change the band name every